Hey y'all, it's Tyramuffin. I was just admiring the way it looked. I was gonna put a wig on, but I'm just like, nah, it's whatever. But okay, I slicked my. Oh, this is not dandruff, I promise. Okay, it's not dandruff. It's just I'm just lazy when I wash my hair. I can't get everything all the time. Ooh, I'm trying to hide it, not show it. All right. Anyways, y'all. So today my video is gonna be about how to prioritize some of your bills. So, well, I'll say all of your bills. So I wanted this video to be specifically for people who are like me, who are like the only source of income, like, well, I should say head of household, or you have a lot of bills, and sometimes the money that you make doesn't equate to how much that you have to put out in your bills. So, and I'm like teaching you guys, well, I'm telling you based off of experience. Like, I have to go through this every single month, and it's actually what I had to go through today, because I got paid today, and I know I got some people waiting for some money from me, but everybody's not gonna get the money, because it's like, it's what I feel. All right, so let me get started. So the first most important thing to do when you're prioritizing your bill is obviously prioritize it. What's the most important thing to you? For me, my most important bill is my biggest bill, which is gonna be my rent. So me and my daughter, we have to have a place to stay. I'm not crashing on nobody's couch. I'm not sleeping in the car. We have to have a place to stay. So my rent is gonna be my number one bill, and sometimes like it's so weird how it works. Like, when you communicate with the universe, and the universe communicates back with you. Like, I never really I used to make checks that was more than my rent, so I had a little extra money. But these days, since my hours have been cut tremendously at work, like, I don't even make enough money. Like, one check cannot cover my whole rent anymore. But sometimes, like, the last few months, like, my rent checks have been, like, they've been able to cover my rent, which is kind of crazy. So it's kind of weird. But anyways, sorry. So step 2, to prioritizing your bills. Okay, well, yeah, it's kind of a step. So it's really important to know, like, your grace periods, and like, how long you have until things actually start cutting off. Like, so I'm gonna just be completely honest with you guys. Like, since it's just me and my daughter, like, I'm the only person, sometimes my mom gives me money here and there, and if my sisters have it, maybe they'll, give me a couple extra 20, whatever. But pretty much, like, it's all me. The burden is all on me. So I've had to have things shut off before. Not my electricity, thank goodness, or like my power or whatever, but like things like my phone and my internet, and let me see what else. Like, I never let my car, like, let me tell you something, especially living in Virginia, you need to have some type of solid transportation. Like, if you got to take the bus every day, cool. As long as you have, like, the money, like the couple extra dollars. I don't know how it works. I don't take the bus, I drive. So I let my car go like 32 days past due, but when I got paid, I just kind of cleared that out, because having a car is like a necessity. So I would say my car is my number 2 bill. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna pay my car bill. But thankfully, I know my grace period on my car is 90 days. So if I had to, I let it get to 32 days past due one time, but then I paid it. But if I had to do it like 60 days past due, I would know, okay, I have this much time until, I'm not going to have a car anymore. So it's just important to know your grace periods. And knowing your grace periods, it's important to know what you can and cannot live without. So at one point in time, my phone and my internet was off at the same time. So that means I had no type of outside communication to anybody. I guess only emergencies if I'm at home, because iPhone does offer that. But when I'm at work, I have free Wi-Fi. But when I got home, I wasn't able to watch my TV, because I do TV through streaming TV, Netflix, Hulu. Don't ask how I have Hulu. I don't pay for it, so I want to let y'all know. So when I have both my TV and my internet and my phone turned off, it was probably like the most miserable 3 days I've ever had in my life, because like I said, I had no type of communications to the outside world. I couldn't even put a little cartoon on for my daughter while I was cooking, so she was like under me all day, and it was just stress. It was a lot of stress. So what I decided to do was, okay, my phone is this much behind. My internet is this much behind. So while I'm at work, I don't necessarily need my phone bill on or paid for, because I have I have Wi-Fi at my job, so I can have access to communicating to different the important people, I should say. Everybody in my family has iPhone, and if you have Android, then I couldn't text you because my phone was off. But the most important thing was that I was able to communicate with my family. I won't be able to call you, but I'll be able to text you and FaceTime you. So that was really good, and that worked out for me. So I decided, well, when I'm home, I don't have either. So it's important for me to choose one. I don't necessarily have the money for my phone because it's this big, huge amount and all the late fees. So I'm only this much behind on my internet. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my internet back on so I have Wi-Fi when I'm at home, and I can still use my phone. So it's like feeding two birds with one stone. I like the PETA friendly phrases or whatever. I think they're cute. But anyway, so yeah, so I don't need if I have my phone on, then I still can't watch TV. But now that I have internet, I can watch TV and use my phone. So that's another thing that I learned through this struggle. It's kind of like figuring out which things that you can and can't live without. One thing I'm currently struggling with is like all the little the little small bills that come every month, like $10 for gym. I pay like $20 for for Philo. I love it. And like I just got these AirPods. I have to pay $15 a month. So it's like all of those little bills add up. But I know that I can live without some of those. But I haven't really made the cuts yet. So to increase the money that I would have in my pocket, I have to make certain cuts. Now that's just what am I willing to sacrifice? Like I watch a lot of TV, and I have like unlimited options of what I can watch, but is it worth cutting out that Philo? I might be able to cut out Philo now because my favorite show just ended for the season. So until I get the amount of money that I need back into my pocket, I might be able to sacrifice Philo for a few months. So yeah, so it's different things that I'm still working on in myself to figure out what I can and can't live without. But yeah, that's a big part of it. Now let me try to think. Okay, so the bills that we don't really consider bills, such as gas money for your car and groceries. Now this is where I really struggled with these past few months. Like my daughter she might have eaten something that she would like let's say I would make oatmeal for dinner or something because that's all I had, or I would make like grilled cheese sandwiches or cheese quesadillas. Like it's important to have these struggle meals for when you do end up like me and you just have nothing to eat or in the house sometimes. So anyways, what I was trying to say was we don't necessarily account like groceries and gas as bills, but that's one of the big mistakes that I've made. So there was one time I really needed some gas, and I probably had like, I don't remember, $10-15 on my credit card. And I have 2 credit cards, and right now they're both like subjects I don't really want to talk about. But when I was able to use my credit card, I had maybe $10 or $15 left up there, and I wanted to do some Ubers, so I think I had to overdraft my account so I can get a full tank. But that was the only time that I did that for my card, like purposely overdrafting my card. But to prevent that from happening, I could have set aside like a few dollars for myself, because like, you need these things. And as far as grocery shopping, it's just so important to buy things that will actually last. Like the canned goods, they're cheaper than, you know, like the frozen meals that you might spend money on. They're cheaper and they last longer. They're multiple meals. And like I said in one of my other videos, in my fat video, I said the pasta at Walmart is like 88 cents a box, and that's like 4 to 5 meals, and it's nothing but a fact. And I still have a few things of noodles or like, you know, uncooked pasta in my cabinet because I just never know. Like, thankfully I was just given some like 6 things of ragu sauce for free. One of the managers at my job really looked out for me, so I really appreciated that. So right now, even if I have no other groceries in my house, I can make some Alfredo pasta. Like, we good. I got hella seasoning, so I don't. And during my struggle season, I haven't really been eating that much meat because meat is more expensive. And what I realized is meat is more of a 1 to 2 meal sort of thing, rather than like. And on top of that, my daughter doesn't really eat the meat anyways. Whenever I do cook it, she'll pick around it. So it's like something I was able to cut out. And I'm trying to think, like, I didn't really plan this video out well. I did know that I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the struggles that I'm facing in some ways that I got through certain situations financially. When I first realized that I was having a lot of financial stress, I noticed that I was still using my last few dollars, like, to get a $3 meal from McDonald's or like a candy bar at work. But it's just like, some days you really just have to sacrifice, and that's just what it is. Like, when you get desperate enough and when you get poor or broke enough to sacrifice, then you'll know that you have reached rock bottom. So I feel like I'm a little over rock bottom right now, just because I've been through this period for a few months now, and I can understand what I have to do to make it through. Like, I might have a couple bills that are going to be unpaid for this paycheck that I got paid for today, but I know that the next paycheck I might be able to put a couple dollars towards it. And that's another thing. Like, I wouldn't say completely ignore your bills, because I know that they're looking for you anyways. They're gonna be looking for you. But even if you contribute like $10, $5, like that extra $3 I put towards that McDonald's sandwich, that could have gone to like one of my cheaper bills. So now, like, it's not completely ruining my credit. Like, my credit is so trash right now because of all the bills that I have. But with my financial stability on the way, either end of 2019 or sometime in 2020, I'm speaking it into existence, I'll be able to overcome all of this. So I just want anyone in these situations just like me, I just want you to know that you're not alone. Like, let me tell you the secret about struggling, okay? The most important thing you can do while you're struggling is just make sure you don't look like you're struggling. Like, some days I will go into work looking all broke down. It's like, that doesn't do anything but make you feel even more like crap. Like, yeah, I might not be able to watch the shows I want because I can't afford it right now, but I don't have to go into work like letting that reflect on the way I look. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to still keep up with yourself and just try to stay positive about it. Like, a lot of the times when I'm really stressed about the money that I don't have and the money that I need, or the money I feel like I need, I tend to like cut people off because I don't want to keep complaining about my issues. And I talked to my mom about this actually earlier this week. Every time I get so upset about these things, like, I just cry just because of pure frustration. Like, I feel like sometimes there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I would be like, okay, I'm about to do some Ubers today, I'm gonna make some money. One, either Uber is super slow, or two, I forget that my phone is off, so I can't, you know, use the app while I'm driving. So it's just like, one pushback after another. So it's very draining, and it's definitely tough, but I know that there's a light out of my situation. So I just want everybody to feel encouraged. Whether your financial situation isn't as severe as mine, I would consider mine pretty severe, but guess what? I'm still alive. I still have a roof over my head, and I'm still driving my car. And I'm not hungry right now. Normally I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry right now, so that's good. Corbin's fine. She's happy. She has no idea what stress mommy's going through, but she's happy, and that's what makes me happy. So I just want to encourage everybody, no matter what you're going through, you're not alone, and you will get out of it. Just stay positive about it. And even if you want to message me or DM me, whatever, like, I'm totally open, because I sometimes feel like I'm all by myself. Like, I'm the only one going through this. I see other people, I see plenty of people my age with kids, but they either live with their parents or they have somebody, like, to help them. Sometimes I feel helpless. Like, I have sisters here, but my mom is, like, pretty much my rock, and she's in New York, so I just feel alone pretty much all the time. But I just want to let you guys know that I'm here for you guys. Like, I might not feel like I have anybody, you know, to be here for me necessarily, which I know I do. But I will be that person, like, that you can lean on or that you can talk to. It's so important to talk through your pain and talk through your stress, because what you don't want to do is start building it up in here. Your mentality is, you have to stay, like, positive. Once your mental starts draining, everything in your life starts pretty much declining. I'm about to end this video because it's, like, really long, but I just want to say that there were points in my life that I felt like I was about to start getting to some type of depression, but I know that I'm not a depressed person. I'm not a depressed person, and I don't want to be depressed, no matter how horrible my situation is. That's just not the type of person I want to be. So I don't even want to use that D word, and I want to just stay positive about everything. It's so important to keep your mentality and your mind cleansed and clear, because this is like the headquarters of all of this and all of this. Like, that's just what it is. So everybody stay positive. Hit me up, comment, follow me, and, you know, let's go get this bag. Like, we are doing good. We're going to work every day that we're scheduled, and it sometimes seems like the world is the world just wants us to fail, but we're gonna prove to the world that we're not failures, and we're here for a reason. So I just want everyone to keep their head up, and we might be struggling, we might be out of contact because our phone is off, but that's okay, because we good, and we're gonna stay good until we're financially free and financially, I don't know, stress free. I don't know. Alright guys, I'm done. I hope I helped somebody. By the way, I'm sorry about all these little crumbs in my hair, but these eyelashes, I found them in my eyelash box. That means they were used by me, of course, but they look good. Hey. Alright, bye guys.